So over the years, I have come to the conclusion that there are two types of traders. And I know this because I've been through both journeys. In this video, I'm going to break down these two types of traders. And what you can do is you can take this away, and whichever category you fall into, these are the things that you're going to need to do. Now, this time last week, I was in Milan. I was going to do a video in Milan, but I thought, right, I'll wait till I get home to let it digest of what I want to actually speak about. And while I was in Milan, what's quite interesting is it's all about fashion. It's a fashion capital, etc., and things like that. And what you have is a lot of tourists who are always thinking about validation, expensive designer wear, queuing up in 30-degree heat to get into a shop, taking a picture outside Louis Vuitton, whatever it may be. And then you've got locals, the Italians, and other people who embrace that, taking their time, not bothered about what people think, and really soaking in and being present. Now, in Italy, they've got this famous saying, okay? Dolce far niente, which means the sweetness of doing nothing. And I just love that saying. I say it all the time. Other people in the community are now saying it, dolce far niente. And when I was thinking about that, and when I was there in Milan and looking at the way the Italians are, something hit me. When I was walking through where the streets were and where all the designer clothes were, I was leaving the Duomo, which is the center, and then there was a park. And in that park, it was around about midday, and I was told by some of my Italian friends that around about midday, Fran, it's time to chill, it's time to go slow. But all the tourists and all the fashion people were still queuing up, going crazy and trying to do all these things. And then when I went in the park, everybody was chilled out. There was a guy playing the guitar, there was everybody chilling, there's a few people doing walks midday, and I was like, this is what they mean by the sweetness of doing nothing. And it made me think of two types of traders. Now, the first trader is the one who is always trying to be validation. Let's put them in that category of the one who's trying to queue up outside Chanel all the time because they're bothered about what people think about them. They're forcing it. They're looking for validation. And in trading, this is where the journey starts for a lot of people. They get into trading for the wrong reasons. They're chasing money. They're chasing lifestyle. They're chasing validation. They're chasing something that they think is going to supplement for something that they're missing in their life. Now, that might be money, but money is not the main thing. Money brings you other things that you are searching for. So this could be forcing trades. This could be over leveraging. This could be blowing prop firm after prop firm after prop firm without any reflection. This could be chasing signals. This could be following someone on YouTube live trading, not understanding what they're doing. And I've come across traders like that, and I did that myself. Only the other day, I had a call with someone who made about $26,000, but realized he made $26,000 by following somebody else when they went on a bad run. He didn't understand because they were just giving him the fish. He didn't know how to fish. And then he blew that $26,000 on a payout, got the payout, obviously then blew it, and then was just literally chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing, but he didn't know the skills. That's type of like the first trader of what we're looking at. And I have this picture of trying to force and trying to spend all their money in the Chanel or the Louis Vuitton or the Loro Piano shop. Now, don't get me wrong, those things are nice for a certain amount of people and for a shorter period of time. But then there's the second version of trader, which represents the person in the park. So when I went to the park, it was the dolce far niente type of trader, which means, as I say again, the sweetness of doing nothing. And this is taking your time and trying to live and trade in a slow manner. Now, for me, I'm trying to implement a way of living slow. I'm at an age now where I'm trying to design my life to start to think about living slow, but also getting the maximum out of that. And when that comes to trading, I've noticed that that is where people make the most money. That's where people get to pay out. That's where people are the happiest and more at peace by not forcing and allowing things to slow. So how does that work? Well, universal law and all the universal laws that we have is if we don't force things and just do the habits and create the character that we want to be, which basically is following the process on a slower trajectory and a slower mindset, it will come to us. So let's align that with trading in relation to the way that I trade, and even more so is we trade from key levels. So if you trade from key levels, you know that already you're being patient, because most people trade in the middle. They chase, don't diddle in the middle, as Stacey Burke says. They will chase candles, they will try and force trades. And this is what let's say, the Chanel in the queue ready validation trader, the forceful trader, the one who is wanting things to happen and they think that they can control it. Now, we don't know that universal law, and in trading, you do not control what's going on in the market. You can only control what's going on with what you do. So that means you can control the pace of your trading, you can control the pace of your living, you can control the pace of your lifestyle, which is ultimately going to be controlling the pace of your destiny. And that's what we want as traders. We want to trade for the minimum amount of time so we can enjoy the maximum amount of time doing the things that we love. Now, for me, like I said, I go back, I trade from a key levels. So I'm waiting for those key levels to hit. When those key levels hit, I must be very, very patient so I know exactly what I'm looking for. Then I can execute that trade. And then this is where the sweetness of doing nothing really comes into play, because I need to believe in the process, because I have the data. I know that it works for me. So I have to believe in the process to let it play out. And that is doing nothing. So that's why when it comes to you trying to micromanage, it happened to me last week. It happened to me last week. If you was in the community, I tried to micromanage a position. I caught the low of the day. I called it out as low as the day. And I was really, really struggling when I closed that trade on the last red candle, and I should not have closed it. And it went in my direction the whole day. That is micromanaging. That is forcing things to happen because I want to stay in control. Whereas if I'd just done what I was supposed to do and have that slow way of trading and that slow way of doing things and the sweetness of doing nothing, and I hope you take away from this video the sweetness of doing nothing, okay, dolce far niente, then you're going to get somewhere. So what I want you to do is have a look at where you are as a trader. What type of trader are you? Are you trying to force it? And most of the gurus that are around now will not be around in 3 or 4 years. And the ones that were around 3 or 4 years ago, who knows where they are right now? That's all about the fast, trying to get money quick, forcing trades, trying to quit their job quick, trying to impress, trying to get some car quick, etc., etc., etc. All right? Or are you the type of person that really wants to trade for a career, really wants to trade for a living? Maybe they want to travel. Maybe they want a camper van and just trade. Maybe they want to bring up their family on the road. Maybe they want to go hiking on a random Tuesday. That, my friend, is what a real flex is. Going on a random Tuesday to anywhere that you want and being able to do that without no stress, because trading has given you that lifestyle. Now, I like to talk about a stress-free trading. And some people in the group, they say, Fran, I've never heard that. Did you just make that up? Well, of course I didn't make the word stress or free up, but that's how I like to implement my trading. I want to make it as least stressful as possible. And that means allowing price to come to me and allowing price to do what it needs to do within the market. So that, my friend, is how you're going to look at your future self. If you are the Chanel looking in a queue, midday Milan, rush, validation, I want this, I want that, I must have this, what will so-and-so think about me, I must push that, and in trading, I must get what I need to get, it's more than likely going to cause some damage. Or are you going to be the trader who sat in the park midday, expressing himself, enjoying, embracing the time, and allowing trades to come to them, and then you, my friend, can then sweetly, slowly go on an equity curve to get where you need to get to. Now, this also relates in life. I'm a person that used to try and force so many things and get angry when things wouldn't go my way. That in my 30s, in my 20s and in my 30s, more so in my 20s and early 30s, caused a lot of anxiety or anxious or pain for me, because I was trying to force things that I wasn't in control of. And that's the same with trading. Now, when you take the stoic approach, or when you take that detachment approach, or when you take the mature approach, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. I still want to control and force things myself, okay? But what I do understand is I understand the law of the universe. I understand the law of detachment. I understand the law of resistance. I understand that I can't force things that are not in my control. And once you understand that in life, your trading will become so much easier along the way. So my suggestion to you, my friends, is to go away and start to study a little bit about who you are as an individual, what you can possibly do to become better, and where you can study Stoicism. Some might be faith, spirituality. I'm big on energy in and around what's going on and around us. And I'm just doing things off energy now. And that sometimes can be hard. But a lot of time it gives me clarity on what I'm actually trying to do. So I hope this video helped. If you need any help with any of those types of things, this video has been sent to you for a reason, I am sure. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and all those types of things, because YouTube's algorithm has gone to, okay, I won't say much else than that. But if you need any help with that, there is a link below. Make sure you get on a call with myself, and I'm sure that we can help you. I'll see you soon.